I am all ears. The Ghost Fancast.
Hello, welcome back to the I Am All Ears podcast with me, Alva. Today, I'm joined by Katie and Alana. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right, let's get our art hats on. I'm actually putting my degree to use. Look at me go. So today we're going to go through the inner album art of the Ghost Records, which has been done mostly by Zbigniew Bielak.
Yeah.
His name. His artwork's really cool because there's a lot of elements in that there's like hidden things that you don't always see at a first glance, and there's references to things. So we thought, let's go through them.
And also just gush over how beautiful his art is because it's stunning stuff.
Yeah, but like before we start, we're gonna start off just with Opus's artwork. We've kind of done the album covers on each
Yeah.
episode, but with Opus, we'll just quickly gloss over it just so it's not left out because obviously it's the only one that isn't done by him.
Yeah, the artist that's attached to that is called Basil Eves 254, and it's the only artwork that's attached to that name. So I think that's Tobias.
Oh, you mean like on the internet as well? Like there's no other
Yeah,
record of it.
it's on Discogs. It has that person listed as the artist, and it's the only artwork that's under that name. So I think it's Tobias because if you look at the back cover too, it reminds me with where the track listing is. It reminds me an awful lot of like the Repugnant album cover, like the way he did the collages. So that's why I think the album cover was done by him. Because that's the only art that this person has ever done, and like Opus is one of the most like iconic covers that Ghost has. It's the one that's copied the most. You know, when people are making like parody things.
Yeah, there's that Cats one, isn't there?
Yeah. So like I can't imagine the artist who did like the most iconic Ghost cover not getting any more work. So
right, let's dive in. Because didn't just a little bit of a quick backstory? Didn't Zbigniew get approached to do something for Repugnant, and then I think he originally got approached to do the backdrop during the Opus era, and then
yeah, he said on Insta that he approached Tobias whenever Repugnant came back. He was like, I would love to do some artwork for Repugnant because that was a dream of his to work with Repugnant. And Tobias basically said to him, maybe do it with this one instead, like pointing to Ghost. And they had come up with some stage designs. Like they were like these cut out windows they were going to sit on stage. But I think they realized, one, they didn't have the money to make them right. And two, the stages weren't big enough to have something like that on stage.
yeah.
So, yeah, nothing really kind of... They were in contact during the Opus era, but nothing kind of came out of it until Infesticism.
Yeah. Which, yeah, speaking of, let's go in.
Yeah.
So we've got, like I said, to quickly go back over the actual front cover, you've got, it's a reference to the film Armageddon, isn't it? Amadeus, sorry.
Armageddon.
Sorry.
I don't
Armageddon. Oh, yeah, it's Amadeus, which obviously you've got like Papa like reaching out, and then you've got like the Vatican, and like St. Peter's Square with like a little baby inside of it.
Yeah.
Which, if we go into the artwork for the song Infesticism, you've got that kind of same baby on the cover that's like being almost dragged in and being he's overthrown the actual Pope. If you look at the cot, there's like a little 666 on it, so it's safe to assume that this is the Antichrist, I guess.
Yeah. One other thing I'd say about the kind of cover and like St. Peter's Square, when I was looking up stuff, the colonnades, the big four colonnades around, like the big columns, the big four columns, they're supposed to represent the maternal arms of the Mother Church.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of like are wrapping their arms around the people in St. Peter's Square.
Yeah.
You know, so it's again like it's just, I think it's great because obviously like, you know, the maternal arms around the Antichrist, or you know, the paternal, the kind of father hands over the top. It's great. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the foreground you've got Papa like sort of commanding in, doing the throne of devil horns, and then assuming the Pope cowering
Yeah.
in fear. He's on the podium of where, like, normally the Pope gives his speeches from. Also, a little hidden fact, I don't know if you've noticed this, if you look into the little sun, there's a goat.
Oh.
It's really cute. There's a little goat on there, like a little goat head. It's like Satan's the sun.
It's like Teletubbies. It's the satanic Teletubbies.
Don't. I'm gonna Photoshop one of them as that now.
Do it.
It also kind of looks like a person as well if you actually look at the sun that's up like
Yeah, there's
hanging.
like arms.
Yeah, it's like hanging upside down. Well, St. Peter was crucified upside down,
Ah.
which is why the upside down cross is the thing. That's actually St. Peter's cross. And Goss just went, "Oh, look at that, mine."
Interesting.
So much easier to draw than the Leviathan cross. I just love how huge the baby is. That's like, because like you see him again, obviously, like in one of the later artworks where he's huge. Like, I think it's the Year Zero one where he's like an adult, you know. But like, it's so funny that he's giant, like this giant baby.
Yeah. Most of this is just gonna be like, this is great. I like this.
Yeah, but because Zbigniew stuff is just so, like the line work that goes into it is
Oh, God, yeah.
insane. Because it's all hand done, like which I think a lot of people don't really comprehend, and also they're done on giant pieces of paper
Yeah.
as well. Like they're not done on like kind of, you know, like he's doing these big picture, like these kind of really detailed pictures on giant pieces of paper. Because I think he said that he's all like it was like something to do with architecture was kind of where he started drawing.
It makes sense looking at the style.
Yeah, so like you can definitely see an architect in there because just of the level of detail in it.
Mm.
Beautiful stuff.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10. Chef's kiss. The next one for Perispera. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
So there's kind of like an image of, I'm assuming, death in like a sort of grave robbery form. He's holding like a egg timer, shovel, fan, some scales, and he's kind of leaping over this group of people that are almost, I don't know if they're bursting out of or going back into this almost vaginal looking portal.
It's an oyster.
And
Yeah, it's
it looks like a vagina.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a clamshell
that's
with
the
a
point.
clitoris.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone.
because Per Aspera is a song. It's the song about human ambition, you know, and how each generation thinks that they're undying and they're never, and how like each generation has this goal of changing to become something different and better, you know.
It makes sense because when you look at them all, they all look like creative or intellectual people. Like you've
Yeah.
got someone who's got the compass, which could also be a Freemason reference, but like you got someone who's a writer in there. But yeah, like Katie said, there's someone just straight up fondling what looks like
Oh
a
yeah,
clit.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the grass around it kind of looks like pubes.
Yeah.
I don't know why the frogs are there.
Frogs can represent fertility, abundance, and transformation.
Oh.
But also the whole plagues of Egypt thing. It rained frogs.
I don't. Maybe, but I can see it being a bit more simple. Like death's taking these. It's kind of like death is taking these people's instruments of ambition. You know, like because they're dying, they're gonna die. Everyone's gonna like no matter what instrument you use to create your ambition, whether you be an artist, an actor, a painter, whatever, architect, anything. Death comes and takes it anyway. You know. So that's why they're kind of all reaching up to kind of get their stuff back. But he's like, nope, you're dying anyway, bitch.
Mine.
Get ready to rot.
The writer looks like he's reaching out to tickle the clit with his quill.
Yeah,
like,
he's like, oh, giant vagina, fuck that. I like that here.
At least someone can find it.
Yeah. It just takes it being on a massive scale.
What does this button do?
I love the design of Death. Like that with the kind of hair and the wings and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, he makes an appearance in this type of form, almost exactly the same in some of the Prequel artwork.
Yeah.
Which obviously we'll get to later, but yeah.
Yeah, don't you forget about mine.
So next up, we've got Secular Haze. And Satan's getting a little freaky with some lady. There's obviously a lot of fog because the whole fog weaver thing. There's those like tents behind almost look like circus tents, which to me like kind of mimics the whole sound of the intro.
Yeah.
And also, God forbid a woman have unshaved armpits.
You know what? I'm really happy that she has unshaved armpits.
Yeah,
well
I'm joking, obviously.
No, I know, but well done. I don't know if this is just me like over analyzing because I can do that. But the whole point of the Secular Haze song is supposed to be talking about death and drowning or freezing to death.
Oh yeah.
Know? And in French, an orgasm is known as a little death.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I was kind of wondering if the artwork has to do with that in a way. You know, like she's experiencing a little death. You know, because like I know that he said during whenever Infest was coming out. He said that like freezing to death was apparently like the best way to go, and I'm like, sure, of course it is. Yeah, I'd like to be cold to death, thank you very much. But yeah, like like it's an enjoyable death in air quotes, maybe
Yeah.
So like a little death.
I want to know what like these little roofs are and why they're upside down.
I think it's supposed to be kind of like sensors almost.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're on a pedestal or something.
I love on the Spillways Lounge website. They have the little sketches that Zbigniew did.
Yeah.
And so you can see the kind of basis of it. It's like, wow, it didn't change much. It just got more detailed.
Also, the sensors that are upside down cupolas. It looks like Bespin Cloud City.
I wouldn't put that past him. Can you make it like Star Wars? That's just like the kind of keynote for everything that he does with Ghost. Can it be Star Wars though?
Can we make a Star Wars reference over here?
Well, speaking about Emperors, in the next artwork for Jigglypuff Mehid, I can never say this name.
Megiddo.
There is. I had to look this up because I don't know why. I was like, this figure must be someone.
Yeah.
He looks too important. So I just was googling like knight with peacock feathers on his head, and it turns out it seems to be a reference to Emperor Maximilian, who was like say one of the last. Did you say he was one of the last holy?
Yeah,
emperors of Rome?
He was the last holy emperor of Rome before I think they decided to have popes.
He's also a apparently a inspiration for Dr. Faustus, which is quite interesting. So I'm guessing there's the sort of devil tie there, but yeah, there's a lot going on in this image. Everyone's just kind of fucking. There's a load of people with boners. Some guy in the corner, freaky ass, is drawing it. Papa's got Jesus on a leash. There's like these devils that are yeeting thorn crowns at Jesus, and he's like sobbing. A lot going on.
Get a crown on Jesus, win a prize.
Also, ma'am, what are you doing to that horse?
She's looking under its skirt.
She's a little too close to that area for my liking.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts is the little like devil cherubs on the back of the horse, like beating the drum, like they're playing. It's so cute.
Yeah, one looks like he's holding up like devil horns actually, like the one at the very back. He's holding up the little devil horns, like yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, it's like Gigolo's like the horniest song on the album, so of course it's got the orgy on it, you know.
Well, yeah, it makes sense because it's all about the prostitute of the apocalypse, isn't it?
Yeah. Another thing about Maximilian was he was known as the Steel-Hearted because he was very warlike. So he was as well, which kind of ties into the apocalypse and stuff coming in, you know. I also love as well that Papa in all of these pictures he's not. It's kind of not like the way they normally do it with Papa, where they have like the actual Papa face. And we'll have his face paint and stuff. He's a skeleton in most of these, and I love that. Just kind of affirm the theory. I think the theory that he does a lot of these artworks when he isn't really sure what Papa's gonna look like, so he's like it's a skeleton. Like anything else? No. Oh yeah.
Also, it kind of makes Secondo look like more badass in a way, because like
Mhm.
all of Copia's artwork was very idealized in like, oh, he's like a big strong muscle man.
Look at that hip pack.
Look at his six pack and his big old dick. But Secondo's is like, no, I am death. Like, I am a skeleton. I am death. Like, it's idealized in a different way.
Yeah. I always felt like within the kind of Papas, if it was going to be one that was the most reverent in the sense of, kind of like the one that took his job the most serious, I always imagined it would have been Secondo. Like he's the one that really, like, because even in the propaganda videos, like he's fully aware that he's not going to have the job for the whole time, and he's sad about it, but he understands.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's the one that was probably the most devoted, like, and stuff. He got the message, and then you get to Terzo, who's like, actually, no, it's all about me, actually.
And then you had Copia, who made a whole film about, like, they're gonna take my job away from me.
I don't want to lose my job, or my head, or my life, actually. I like being alive, Mom.
Not what you did to those other guys. I don't want you to do it to me.
It's okay, we have two of you. We got another Copia at home.
Copia at home. I'm trying to imagine what Copia at home would look like.
What's like the most off-brand Copia? Like,
it's just a bad Vincent Price lookalike.
with like grease paint on, because like so it's not fully white.
Or it's just like really cheap, like like face paint that you can buy at like a dollar store.
His bat wings are literally one of those Halloween costume for kids that are made of tights. Stretched over the fucking wiring.
He looks like Lisa Simpson whenever Homer tried to make her look like Florida. It's just like duct tape and apple to him.
Anyway, I've got a lot to say on this next one. So Ghoulie / Zombie Queen. Fuck me, there's a lot going on here with just the dress alone.
Yeah. There's flies,
I'm gonna start from
and hearts and...
Yeah, so starting from top, she's kind of got like the Medusa head going on with the snakes for hair.
Yeah.
And then you go down and she's got some heads that are stitched together as shoulder pads with like ruffles that look like intestines. And then you got these penis flies.
Yep.
Like why are they penises? Going down to hands that are holding hearts that are tied on, and then again you've got like intestinal frills. There's some heads that have eyeballs in them, and then right down to the very bottom you've got these dicks with just one random boner. And also a mix of cut and uncut, for diversity. Yeah, a lot going on. I would love someone to recreate, not obviously with actual human organs.
Oh, yeah.
But like someone to recreate this with like, fake stuff. Also, 2 hour left of it. There's just a little penis rat for no reason. But I love him. He's an icon.
And a Cocker Spaniel. Get it? A Cocker Spaniel. Also, her face is a mask. Like, the parts of her that we can actually see, like her neck, are like decayed and gross. And like she's wearing gloves, so we can't actually see her hands. Her face is a mask that's cracked.
Oh, yeah.
And then I can't tell if we can see her actual art. Yeah, the parts of her actual arms that we can see are decayed.
Yeah.
And gross as well.
Yeah, because like obviously everyone in the background is also dead and they're skeletons and they're dressed in sort of like this sort of French. What's this era of France called?
Baroque.
That's it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
But then what gets me is the orchestra are still alive.
Yeah. I do like the one guy with the book. I like the guy with the book, like, is this a gig we actually booked? What happened? I'm checking the notes. No, yeah, it says corpse party, huh?
I didn't think it was gonna be
No, it's
this
gonna be literal.
literal.
It's like just keep going, Hans. We need the money.
This is the future that the liberals want.
The Titanic people playing because as the party goes down. It's been another playing with you, gentlemen. I think I'm going to end up as that woman's dress after this.
Oh.
Powered by Thunderstruck. Stop it.
Yeah, a lot going on, but I think this one's my favorite off this album just because of the
Yeah.
iconic dress. It's like Lady Gaga's meat dress, but
Literal.
10 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone can recreate this, please do. I'm begging.
It'd be so amazing to see somebody try to recreate this. I just like the fact as well, out of all the kind of grotesque kind of like meat parts of her dress, she just has a normal plain fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the moment you realize that this was drawn by a man, because a woman would be like, no, I'm just getting the most elaborate goddamn fan I could think of. A fan is actually a pair of lungs that have been split open, or something like that. There's a guy, he's just a fan. It's just a fan.
I do want to know why there's just one random boner on the dress.
Why not? You know what I mean?
I mean, the one on the other side's kind of at half mast. It's a small one, so
His attention's there.
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, and then we've got Year Zero, which is this the one where you said it's probably like the baby grown up, but
Yeah.
he's like a jester type thing. There's a solar system flying around him for
It's amazing.
whatever reason. There's 2 crucifixes that are tied to the building. He's got hoof feet.
I love that for him.
It's so good. And I love the fact that you can't really see his face. Like, it's just, like, light.
Yeah.
Like, he has a mouth, and it's not even a he, they have a mouth, and, like, horns. No, but I love this picture because I love the fact that they've no face. Like, so there's no real gender really attached to the Lucifer. And I also want as well to make a mention of the single cover for Year Zero. Because I love that as well. It's a recreation where it's a kind of ghostified version of a John Martin painting called Satan Proceeding at the Infernal Council. And it's supposed to be him sitting over everyone. At the the dawn, like Year Zero, like the dawn of his reign. He's sitting on top of the globe and all that there. This is probably my favorite one, but just because I love the composition of just how giant they are, like
Yeah.
And it's just like the concept of like they've taken the robes and they've kind of tied them to the building, and you have like this little devil that's flying up by his face holding the mask up, actually, and like the small people moving around his feet, and it's just like scale.
Candle flames for eyes.
Yeah.
Speaking of like referencing other art pieces of artwork, the next one for Body and Blood is 100% a reference to the album cover Sabbath Bloody Sabbath by Black Sabbath. It's really, if you've never seen it, Google it. That's all that pretty much needs to be said mostly on this one. Other than that, bro has cutlery now, and Jesus is
he's gonna eat Jesus.
Yeah, which these little devil women, god damn it, bloody women, or seem to be literally doing to him, like biting into.
It's because obviously the body and blood is like the body and blood of Christ.
Yeah, of course.
And just like the concept of eating Jesus and then shitting him out. It's just kind of funny.
There's this one freaky ass girl that's licking his nipple. So the next one we've got is idolatry. Again, a lot going on here.
Oh yeah.
There's 3 hellhounds. Wait, the name is
Cerberus.
Yeah, thank you. I had that somewhere.
You're welcome.
Who's mauling a priest, and their leash. Yeah, as they should. I'm joking.
I'm not.
The leashes seem to be attached to this cat's tail, which obviously, like, I think we said about this off air about like the cats being sort of like seen as the devil of animals.
Yeah.
Also, is it just me being gross? But does that cat's anus look like it's spewing like shit?
Oh,
no,
yeah, you're correct.
Is.
Yeah, which
that's
is probably like
that's why Virgin Mary's gone, oh my god, and then has dropped her child.
The latrine reference.
Yeah.
yeah.
But the devil and the cat thing, that comes from an interview that Tobias did as school, as the name of the school, where the kid asked him, Satan or cats, and he said he, views both of them in the same light. So I
Yeah.
can understand why he'd have a cat kind of representing Satan. I like the fact that Papa's got it on a little lead.
Oh no, I was just about to say, where it's like, down, boy. This is my
Oh,
pet.
they're so good,
What a
aren't you?
good kitty.
Little jeweled collar, little jeweled crucifix.
This is a great one too. I like the three Cerberus. Like, why just have one three-headed dog when you have three? 9 heads are better than 3.
My uncultured ass the first time I saw this was like, it's Fluffy!
It is fluffy.
Nothing can get past Fluffy. Where's Hagrid when you need him?
I feel like this cat is an orange cat. I don't know.
It looks it.
It's 100%. The markings on its head. The marking on its little forehead. It's made an orange cat. And if any cat's going to be Satan, it's going to be an orange cat.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Like that one. Going to the depth of Satan's eyes. That's kind of giving a throwback to the Year Zero artwork with the mask. I didn't have a lot to say on this one because they're just sort of ascending.
Yeah. I would love to know what the big orb is. Is that the thing from Skyrim? A new hand has touched the beacon. But it's probably like weird. It's the lightest looking one out of all of them. If that makes sense. Like, it's got the most kind of white space in it. Which is really, really beautiful. Again, like this, what I really love by looking through these artworks, we talked about this off air, is you can see the kind of progression in Zbignew's artwork from Infestism to Malera, and just see how much more, and then to Prequel, and then Impera, and you can just see how much more detailed he gets as he goes along and stuff. Like, these are beautiful, but like they're like, there's a load of detail in them. I'm not saying there isn't, but like when you get to the next couple of albums, they become so much more, like, there's just so much more line work in.
Yeah.
So like, this is like one of the few ones where there's still a lot of line work in it, but it's more minimal, on the minimal end of it when you see some of the other ones.
Definitely.
It so just blows me away that this is like a huge piece of paper and a tiny ass micron pen.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. How many does he go through them as well?
He probably just has a giant box of them, like literally like a huge box of pens.
I swear I saw like a Instagram thing of his like pen choice, and I swear those pens are like £30 per pen.
They probably are. But the amount of bands he works with and stuff, he can afford them.
Well, yeah.
I charge by the pen
with
stroke.
someone else, but I feel like they're refillable.
Oh yeah, I think they are. I think you buy the actual pen, and then I think you may be right there.
Yeah, fill it back up.
But going on to Monstrous Clock, this one is, I like this one as well because it's like Jesus is kind of crucified inside the monstrance.
Yeah, his legs are missing.
Yeah, and then there's like a little hammer and nail going into the final letter for 12.
Yeah, and I like the people. There's the two noble people on the left side that are greeting each other by doing the devil's horns. Good morning, Reginald. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. We survived Satan.
Isn't there a similar symbol in Italian though, which means I love you? Like a similar hand gesture.
I mean,
Let me have a look.
Similar in American Sign Language.
But yeah, I'm sure I've read that somewhere. Italians confirm or deny for me.
But even like the symbols on the actual monstrance as well, like you have the little one of the like angel demons on one side that's holding up the devil horns as well.
Yeah,
it's great.
Oh,
it's kind of like,
all the zodiac signs on there.
Yeah, like Year Zero happened and everything's fine. Like,
woo.
Yeah, everything's like, everything's fine. People lived. Sun's shining.
Sunshine.
Birds are flying about. gays are existing,
Oh. Right, should we go into Meliora?
Yes.
Right, Meliora is a bit more, I find, I don't want to say consistent, but there's less Easter eggs, I find, and there's a lot of things that crop up constantly, like trains, zeppelins, steam.
Yeah.
Well, Meliora was kind of, I think, the first album where he really proper, like, because like if like I'm not saying like Opus and Infest didn't have themes, because obviously they kind of did in a way, but they were very loose themes. You know, kind of like the theme was Satan.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of like you can, because like he said himself, like whenever he first made Ghost, right, and you know that's why a lot of Primrose songs and stuff are more like you know very basic kind of Lucifer kind of things, and then as they kind of get better writing. But I think Meliora is the first album where he kind of was thinking about an overall theme for the album and for Papa as well. You know, like he was kind of having this kind of arc that he wanted to take this Papa on, whereas Papa 2 was just kind of like, I like Satan and pussy and I'm balls.
We it was seen as well in Zbignew's art exhibition, the emails between him and Tobias with the motifs that he suggested. So I pulled that up at the same time as writing my notes for this, just so I could see how close to the original idea. Turns out, not at all for most of them. Like this one, so Spirit, the original motif idea that Tobias suggested was a vessel of some sort, space, devil is pilot, Papa, which I can kind of see the vessel thing, because if you look at Papa, he's sort of pedaling away and like shifting gear on this thing. But
yeah, it kind of looks like he's driving like a Gundam.
Yeah, but no space. Also, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, King Kong's there. Which confuses me, because didn't that not come out till the 30s?
Yeah, but I think that Meliora, like the setting, is like the 30s.
Oh, okay, I thought it was more
like,
20s.
It's like late 20s.
The 2030s.
The 2030s.
As we've got the 60s, 80s in
yeah, exactly. The 70s, 60s, 80s, and the 2030s. And the next album is going to be set in the 2050s.
But I love the little devil silhouette that's behind here.
Very much.
It reminds me of something I've seen, and I can't put my finger on it.
No,
this
guys, I just realized the devil, that is Tobias's face.
Oh my! Shut up! It is as well. Look at his ears.
Fuck off!
that is Egg Bias with horns.
Egg Bias is real. Egg Bias is real. Egg Bias is canon.
So good.
Oh, you fucking twat!
That's amazing, though.
I was gonna say it looks like the devil from Call Me Little Sunshine, but
it's just because he's kind of no. Kitty's right, 100%.
Them ears.
I was looking at the eyes. I was like, those eyes look familiar. Oh my god. The ears.
God.
Oh my god.
That's so cool though. Like when you think about it, because that's the time as when he was still masked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
nobody would have known.
Do you see who's behind all of Ghost?
Controlling it like this guy with the fucking lever and pedaling. It's almost as if. Wow.
So that kind of makes me feel like the discussion of who was responsible for Ghost must have been going on, like right into the creation of Meliora, like not just during. Like obviously, like tension must have been kicking off way before that. Of people him talking like his ideas, you know, and stuff like that. There, you know, because like we talked about in the lawsuit podcast, like there was those emails of people being like, you need to kind of let us do things too, and he's like, no.
I'm the Satan.
This is my stuff. I think that's amazing. That's such a good catch, Kitty. That's so good. I was just looking at it, it's like I recognize this face, you know, like
it's Bingus.
It's my fucking phone wallpaper. I've been looking at that man for years.
Well, speaking of copies of things,
Yeah.
on the next one, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, it's they recreated this in the music video, didn't they? At the very
Yep.
end. But that little figure of that woman who's falling, it's quite interesting because she's literally got pretty much everything that's referenced in the song. So you've got like feathers, orbs, a
Mhm.
crown, a scepter.
I
What?
wonder if that's supposed to be Satan.
Oh, as a woman.
Yeah.
Why is there a plate?
I think it's
For
a hat.
offerings?
Well, I thought it was a half. Sorry.
For offerings, maybe?
Ah, yeah. I thought it was because of the whole
Mhm.
flat Earth disc thing.
Maybe.
Because of the
But-
whole what's flat was round thing.
But I will
Oh,
put
yeah,
context
maybe.
to I will put context to why, like, Satan being a woman. Tobias did say his favorite version of Satan is the version from the Mel Gibson Jesus movie, Passion of
Yeah, the
Christ,
Passion of Christ.
because
'Cause
that's
it's
a
like
woman.
yeah, the form of a woman, but like the voice of a man, like
That,
very
and I
androgynous.
fully agree with him that that's probably one of the best versions of Satan, which is then horribly ruined by a weird CGI effect at the end of them standing in the desert going for some reason. I'm like, why is this happening? Why is
Mhm.
this? You had such a cool version of Satan that didn't need all that shit, and then you added that and you ruined it. But that I agree with him. That's the version of Satan as well. So
I love I said this off camera that Zbignew's art with how he uses vanishing points is stunning.
So good. Yeah.
like, look at all them straight lines. Like, my god,
Oh, love it.
beautiful.
And
Also,
you know
another
what?
thing that I wanted to point out, for all of Meliora's artwork, the Papa being depicted is Secundo and not
Yeah.
Terzo.
Because he wasn't
Which,
finished yet.
yeah, I was just gonna say, which makes me believe that by the time they were coming into making this album artwork, they're like, "What's he look like?" And he's like, "I don't know."
I don't know. Just use this guy. But
He's the last one.
also Christ the Redeemer. But
Oh
Seconda.
yeah, he's on the dashboard of the world. But Pinnacle, like from Pinnacle to the Pit's probably one of my favorite Ghost songs as well. So I love that, and it's just like the kind of fisheye view down is so
God,
smart.
it's so good. Like, the fact that this is all done by hand. It's just
That actually reminds me because I wanted to bring up, because somebody brought up when they're talking about the comic that's coming. I love that he is so invested in art, that he will invest in real artists, and he, like, it's not like he won't just take the easy way out, like
Especially-
it's like you're saying, like, especially nowadays with AI, because like he fully invested to do the artwork, like, right here, right now, movie posters and obviously album covers and all this here, and like I did get slightly worried when if we talk about Phantom. I will say I did get slightly worried when the Phantom artwork came up. I was like, is this AI? Because it's so different, from all the other artwork Ghost has ever done, and it was the first one that was like digital 3D, the kind of
done in Blender.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, is this? And then you see all the work that the guy did, and you're like, oh, thank God, because I was so worried.
Let's move on to Cerise, because again, like talking about Secondo,
Yeah,
he's there kissing some gal. He put in his email that it's a painting called "The Kiss" by Klimt.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Beautiful painting.
So there's a lot, like, I don't know if it's just me with a filthy mind, but the particular crease on the lower part of Secondo's robe looks like a fanny.
A little bit. I see it.
Very
I don't know
Greek.
if that
this
was on
look, man.
purpose, but it's there.
I feel like we spoke about this before, like the 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a witching hour?
Yeah. It's usually whenever like magic's at its highest.
Yeah.
And when like the veil between like Earth and Spirit's world is the thinnest and things like that there. But yeah,
Why
like, Art Deco is very Greek feeling, like
Yeah. It's very
So
inspired by Greek. Like if you're in New York City and you see the Art Deco buildings, a lot of them are just absolutely covered in Greek mythological figures. Zeus, Hermes, are really prominent figures.
Well, like all these buildings in this series in Meliora, there it is very. I know it's kind of meant to be like Metropolis, isn't it? But it's all
yeah,
very New Yorky as well. My favorite one from this this series is the next one, which is Spock's Sonat, because it's literally just Papa playing like an organ, and it's very
yeah.
conductor. I don't know if it is a Phantom of the Opera reference, but I just want to be delusional for a second.
Feels like it is. We can say it is.
Yeah.
He's never going to argue. He's never going to come tell us it's wrong, so it is.
But yeah, it's same thing. You've got that kind of up and coming city
Yeah.
sort of ahead of him and with the sunrise.
Did you guys notice that on the piano it says Emeritus 3? Like
Mhm.
on the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
I,
Not much to say on
I'm
this one. Yeah,
noticing
it's
all kinds of things today that I've never seen before.
yeah, to be fair, I hadn't looked deep into these until like said we were going to do this episode. I've kind of skimmed through and been like, that's pretty, that's pretty. But like,
Also, if you look at the clouds, one of the ghoul masks is floating just above.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
see it.
nice. It's the same kind of one that's on the Pope Star cover, almost.
Yeah.
with the chest plate.
Yeah.
I like what the whole point of like this is kind of like hammering home the city of Meliora. You know, that
Mm.
the zenith of society, that the 30s and stuff. Everybody always thinks that they hit. You know,
Mm.
we're the most that any human is ever going to reach. And like you look at right now, and you're like, God, I hope not. Please go for further, please. But there is an idea of society that that your version of society is the version that's reached
Yeah.
the peak, but never do. But it's beautiful.
There's
So
a lot.
again, huge scale. You know, like the Papa being a giant scale Papa city. You know.
He's like that omnipresent god type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like all the little tiny cars and the multi-level roads and like how tiny the Zeppelins are in comparison to like Papa's huge throne.
Mhm. Speaking of Zeppelins, because I'm just looking at the one for the next one he is, and there's a lot of Zeppelins on this one as well.
Yeah. The picture in the middle, the devil and the two people kissing in the middle. I don't know why, but immediately in my head it came up. It's just you and me and us and your friend Steve.
Steve.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, but even then you've got Papa behind them, even creepier.
Yeah.
I got this as the whole star-crossed lover thing.
Oh yeah.
Because of it's in the song, and
Yeah.
is it Romeo and Juliet that's like the original star-crossed lovers type reference?
Yeah, well, like yeah, that's where
Yeah,
the term
like-
came from.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
'Cause it's
In
in
Fair
the
Verona, we set our scene.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's also like like with the history of the song, it's he wrote it for Bowl
Oh,
originally.
I know, I'm gonna be
you
sick.
know. So, and then also as well, it's supposed to like he did that said again in that cat interview that he did, with the kid. He said that it's supposed to be the hell might not be as bad as the church makes it out to be, the type of thing as well.
I like how Satan's got his hand on the guy's ass.
Yeah, he's
Satan's gay.
enwrapping them. No, but he's like enwrapping them in,
Yeah,
like
he's like protecting them.
Oh, it's not a gay thing.
it's not a gay thing. It's a weird polyamorous relationship with Satan. And then Dad's watching over the top. You guys need a condom?
I like how in most of these pictures actually there's like searchlights going in the sky, which is
Yeah.
interesting foreshadowing. Not intentionally, obviously, I'm guessing, but you never know.
Or maybe it is because Tobias is a manipulative mastermind.
He plans everything ahead.
Well, speaking of, let's go into mummy dust because there's a lot of Freemason stuff going on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and Illuminati, and because I know that right. I'm not American, But obviously, on your dollar bills, you have what I know as the Illuminati symbol. But
The
like,
all-seeing eye.
yeah,
the
but
old-
what is the origin of that?
that is a great question. I don't think we even know. I think
Hmm.
it's supposed to be like the omniscient eye of God.
Yeah, because you have the whole "In God We Trust" on your dollar bills as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's supposed to be God
Hmm.
looking over everything. Um, but I don't know exactly why it looks like it does. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I guess our founding fathers were just in the Illuminati. It's fine."
Tobias Forge is in the Illuminati, confirmed.
Well,
And yeah,
I just did Google quickly. It's like the eye on the U.S. dollar bill, also known as the Eye of Providence, symbolizes God's watch over humanity.
oh, there you go.
And then I think the whole point of like mummy dust is this kind of hysterical idea that God is fine with capitalism.
God encourages capitalism.
Talking of Tobias, there's a load of like, you know how we always joke that he's got that thing about the dancing couple.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
see it again.
There they
love to
are.
I'd love to know what that is to him. Like, if I ever got to talk to him, it's like, what's with the f***ing couple? You got it tattooed on you. You got it on subvision.
It's on there a lot. This one in particular is interesting because they're both kind of holding a knife behind each other's back, which is obviously like, the
Yeah.
whole backstabbing for money thing. Right. Should we go on to Majesty? I don't have a lot to say. I am confusion with
It's the
this one.
thinker.
Yeah,
thought
it's
it was.
Rodin.
Yeah,
I knew it was a reference, so I was like, I'll let you guys handle this one.
Yeah, it's just the thinker. It's contemplation, introspection, and the poet's ability to transcend humankind's lesser nature.
And that also, interestingly, the thinker was originally on a huge, gigantic sculpture called the Gates of Hell. He's like the top, like the crowning piece of this huge piece called the Gates of Hell, and was
I never
then
knew that.
later sculpted and like enlarged as a separate piece.
Oh yeah. He sits above the door.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes me laugh that people in the cars pay more attention to him than the road. Like, someone's gonna cause a crash.
Yeah. Also, as well, I think this might be our devil from Spirit again. I think this might be Tobias again because it's got the little horns on the side of his head.
Mm-hmm. It kind of looks like him, but older.
Yeah, he is. Way buffer.
More tired.
But it's just like every chance he gets, can you be like super buff? Please, I'm trying so hard. But these are just spaghetti.
It's spaghetti. Talking about Tobias's arms. The next one. The next one, Devil Church, is very literal. It's literally a church that's satanic. But did you notice how Secondo's crucified?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
who massacred my boy?
My boy.
Yeah, no, let's say on this one. Think of the most devilish looking church you can think of. I like that
Art Deco.
Yeah, I like that the pillars with the crucifixes on almost look like the bits in his robe.
Yeah.
This is miter.
Mm.
And it like
Oh yeah.
is like built on his crucified arms.
And again, more searchlights, like you said. Like it's again, like you said earlier at the very beginning, like very consistent running theme through Melioras artwork. So it's not as you can't find as many hidden. Like I mean, you probably could if you really knew a lot about like art history. You could probably be like, oh, these statues are referenced by this thing, and then this lady's referenced that. But it's 2:00 in the afternoon, and I was awake at 5 a.m. and I didn't look into that. So
yeah, and Tobias is fucking with us literally while we're live on air right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're a little stressed.
we're on the cusp of the new era. Well, like watching the live stream while talking about art, but like, yes, Art Deco. What are you doing on the live stream?
What are you doing?
Noticing the figures are like dressed in kind of Egyptian style clothes, which I mean really goes with like the Art Deco theme because there was like the whole revival of like Orientalism
Yeah.
because of the discovery of King Tut's tomb. But it's just like really obvious here, especially with like the figures in the foreground with like the cobras around their feet and
The two women remind me of you probably know what I talk about. Sometimes you see those like Art Deco paint pictures for like restaurants and stuff. You'll see them, and they're kind of like brown, usually brown, reds, golds, and it's
Yeah.
usually of a woman. That's what they remind me of. I don't know who the original artist is that those were inspired by, but that's what as well.
The next one, Absolution, is what I like to call I like trains. There's a lot of trains, and then
A runner as
a
well.
runner again.
More Art
Secondo.
Deco ladies. I don't know why, but Secundo's like crucifix in the middle of his chest looks like a big pimp chain.
Yeah,
It looks like he's
got
wearing
rings
loads of
on as
rings.
well.
Yeah.
Well, one we can dive into a little bit if we're going to go with themes is literally the last one, which is Deus in Absentia, because the world is literally on fire and there's a guy
Yep.
on his deathbed
Talking to the devil.
talking to Tobias, who's got a martini by the looks of it.
It's like, so, how you doing?
Look what's happening behind you. Ain't you glad you're leaving all this behind? And then like Papa's just looking out, being like, "Yes, burn, burn, my pretty."
Guy's just got his dogs out for free.
Yeah. Should we move on to Prickal?
Yes.
Do it.
Ashes is again pretty straightforward. You got the Ring of Roses thing. You've got Nil and this cloud that forms a skull, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
There's someone who's seems to be just hanging from a tree for whatever reason, probably because he didn't want to catch the plague, rather just off himself. There's a lot of dead things. There's a lot of dead birds.
Yeah.
Death is everywhere, as it is on this album.
The little puppy dog just playing with a severed head.
Death's up the top again with his with the timer and the scythe as well. Also, as well, I have a feeling that this Papa in the middle is Neil.
Yeah.
Well, just because of the miter shape. So it's the first kind of view of Neil. And obviously, like you said, like the Ring Rosies and the rat.
Also, I love this little girl who's like right next to the skeleton with the trumpet. Like,
mind.
And she's like, "Sir, excuse me."
It's playing my goddamn ear. Like, I know we're all dying and shit, but I kind of want to go out with my hearing attached. Yeah, thanks. Also, well, the body hanging in the tree has an arrow through his head.
Oh, okay.
From the death above being like,
oh my God, is the dog eating his dick?
Probably. Yeah. It's a Tobias Forge influenced arm piece.
There's also a little demon on the side holding a girl up in the air as well. And she's like,
she has an arrow in her butt.
Yeah. He's like, I've gotten everybody. There's loads of stuff in the trees as well. Like, again, with these artworks, like, you'd have to see it on like a. I wish I could have got to the. I wish I could have got to the.
Oh, the exhibition.
Yeah, just so I could see them in big size, so you could see everything. You know.
Like, look, there's even like little details on the little girls' dresses. Like the one who's getting duded at, she has like a little snake in her dress. She's got like little embroideries.
There's also like a little tiny. Like, if you look at the girl beside her, there's like a little tiny skeleton right, like by her feet.
Yeah.
Hey, guy with like a little sword or something.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm down here too.
I want to talk about the next one, rats, because we've all been obsessed with Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And
the
plague rat, the plague boats.
Ah, yes. Look at it.
Because it's very much a plague boat. Death's hanging about again. He's in this one a lot, but obviously, given the thematics of the album,
two people are getting sawed down the crotch as well, up there. But again, like, it's all little details, like in the somebody in the bed in the window, and there's like a doctor. I think, like, I can't really see. You know, I'll have to zoom in.
Like the people down on the left, like on their knees begging. It's like a little rat pope.
Yeah,
rat pope.
And then you have all the bodies underneath the actual image, like underneath the actual town of all the corpses, and then like all of the people, like all of the like officials in air quotes are all rats.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
the doctor looks like it's a rat. The priest, like all the people who are like in charge of things.
just so many rats. I wonder what the song's called.
Oh, look, there's a little plague doctor up in the top of the ship in the crow's nest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and also this there's like a papa skeleton as the back of the ship. I don't know ship terms, but the back of the ship,
Yeah.
The booty.
the booty, booty of the ship.
And oh, like the death kind of has like the proto impera crucifix on his forehead.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it looks like it's made of rats, by the way.
It does. A
I
little
wonder what
rat
the
on
song's called.
top.
There's no hint.
There's
Mice.
so many rats. They're so cute.
Not bats. Not twats.
But rats.
Rat.
Oh, oh. I wonder what the Sorry, just one second more about rats. I don't know. Put my hands up. I don't know what the being sawed down the middle is, because it happens 3 times on the picture. It's right at the top with the 2 at the top, and then right at the another.
Yeah,
each
down
of
right
these.
at the bottom.
Hmm.
I feel like it is a reference to like Hieronymus Bosch.
Probably.
What's that?
The Garden of Earthly Delights with all the demons like doing horrible things to people, and like that's the one where like the person has sheet music written on or tattooed on their ass. Like
Oh, okay.
demons are playing
That's what
music from
also
it, and
the back of prequel is based on. That kind of fresco that's kind of like that looks like it's inside of a frame. That's what it's based on, because it's a quite famous painting for being on 3 sections. You know.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah.
Let's go to Faith, because there's a lot going on here.
Lobotomy.
Lobotomy at Claire's
Lobotomy for you.
accessories.
Lobotomy for you. Lobotomy for you.
They're also feeding Jesus some drink.
Yeah.
That was a paradox in itself, but you know what I mean. Force feeding drink.
They're not exactly waterboarding him, but
I wonder if that's supposed to be like anesthetic.
Oh, I was thinking it was the whole wine body of
I
blood.
mean,
no, they didn't have anesthetic back then, so they just got you drunk or hit you very hard in the head.
oh look, and it's a square hammer.
Oh, what a throwback.
Yeah, like the imagery of lobotomies is all over Faith's.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think that is? I'm being dumb.
Because lobotomies were done to pacify people. In
Ah.
a way, they used to do like men used to do it to their wives and stuff, and you become so very docile. You become quite docile, you know, and you kind of like you don't really raise your voice anymore, emotions anymore, and like that's the kind of theme of the song is, you know, because obviously the Faith's about the lawsuit, you know, and maybe like he's kind of saying about them being lobotomized. They want to lobotomize him.
Yeah, they were trying to pacify him.
Makes sense.
Also, he's lying on a bed of nails. Well,
oh yeah. Yes, he sure is.
And then you have Neil and Sister up in the top watching all of it.
Like, yes, the plan's going ahead. See the light. I've got nothing on this. It's just a nice looking building. I was looking.
I haven't looked at this one in a while. It's basically it's a church being constructed. That's what it is. Maybe it's supposed to be like the Tower of Babel, almost in a sense. Just
possibly.
Yeah. And like the light seems to be coming like from that star in the center at the top.
Yeah.
There's a slight skull face there. If you look at like there's an eyes, and then there's the windows that look like the teeth bit.
Yeah, like if you kind of squint, you can see it better.
Oh, and he's got horns. Devil.
Oh, look at that.
It's kind of like the cover. Whenever you have like you hold the cover far away from you, it's a papa face. But then when you pull it close up, you're like, oh, look at all the details. So that's like a lot of artwork.
It's like Meliora does that with the skull face as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the devil.
It's
the
devil.
Ship, the little angel, the little demons up in the sky. pulling on the winds.
Yeah, it looks like they're pulling the clouds back.
Yeah, so that you can see the light.
There you go. There is more. There is more to it than we think.
There's always more to it than what you think.
I'm just
It's
trying to see
usually
if
Star Wars related.
yeah. Like I said, we haven't got that many good images of this, so it would have been cool to see in person to see
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the up close details, because there's like there's a little village with like carriages and everything going on down there, which can't really see what's going on because we've only got like the lower quality digitalized versions. Because for some reason they don't come in most of the copies of the album.
Yeah,
Quite
which is
expensive to print.
wild.
Sorry.
Probably expensive to print, and they have to pay Zbigniew every time they print them.
Hmm.
Probably, you know. We used your artwork again. Here's more money. He's like, thank you.
Right. We've uncovered one that I said I didn't have anything on.
Yeah.
Let's do miasma. Because there's a lot going on here. Like we were saying, like the Prequel artwork is very clustered, and it's not a bad thing. It's just some of the other ones there's a lot of open negative space or line
Yeah.
work, whereas these ones are like very tightly packed.
Yeah, there's so much in these.
There's something like vomiting at one point, like
Yeah, there's women licking this like a tar in the back behind. If you like up on the top, kind of mid left, there's like a woman licking like one of the tars. Somebody with an arrow.
the devil's writing on at his desk on the far left of the picture.
And then you have all these people down at the bottom because you have like there's a dog with a dragon tail dick, and then there's a torso with a face on it.
I think that some of these little guys down here are like actual copies of like demons and creatures from
Yeah.
Garden of Earthly Delight.
There's like a cluster of like arms and legs on the right side. What the fuck happened in this picture?
Bring out your dead.
And like the central figure kind of looks like their head is cracked open or something, and like all the things are coming out of their head, like all the like miasma is coming from their brain or something.
Yeah. It's just so much going on. And then there's like an army outside as well. If you look in the very back on the right side, it's like people outside with like it's just so much going on.
Jesus is up there doing something.
He's always there. Jesus is always getting dragged around in these fucking artworks, being like, just 5 minutes. And then there's a woman with a baby as well.
There's a lot going on here.
Oh, I see Nil. He's very tiny up there at the top.
Where is he?
Kind of
Oh,
the
I see
top
him. Yeah.
center, like right next to the like little dragons.
Yeah.
Let's look at Dance Macabre, because oh boy, we got a clock.
How could it end like this?
And the little jester is close to midnight.
Oh,
you see.
It's close to midnight. I love again going back into the whole vanishing space thing and the optical illusion that he does so well with this, because like the top part of it is like obviously vanishing towards the center in one direction, like sort of going from the top down, and then the bottom half is going, so the outer bit is the bottom and the top is heading towards the center.
yeah, that's so wild. I mean,
It's like I said, like off air. It's like the labyrinth scene at the end with all the stairs.
yeah. How you turn my world, you precious thing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the numbers on it now, because obviously you got the Roman numerals and
1 fiddler, 2 twinks,
and a partridge in a pear tree. 4 doesn't make sense.
ladies. No, it really doesn't. We're like 1, 2, 3, and then we get to 4, and it's like person on their knees.
6 is then back to having 6 people. 7 is again a lady doing something. 8 is.
Oh, it looks like 7 is watching an orgy or a threesome there.
Yeah. 7's like, God, I wish that was me. I can't leave my spot. There's like something going on the floor there, and then the ladies, you know, her near ear are just like, we're not looking at that.
Who's here at the very top? Death again. He's hiding in the tower this time.
He is in the tower.
But he's always at the top of the picture.
Yeah, because it's Death is the great equalizer.
He's
The
above
rich and poor will
everybody.
die.
Yeah, love this
Either
one.
you're upside down or having a threesome.
Yep, you're gonna die at some point. There's just so many people to look at in this, and you've got busts and everything. You've got people dangling off of stairs. You have, everybody's just chatting and gossiping. People falling out windows. Then you got a guy with a lute serenading to somebody. I'm gonna play Wonderwall. Please don't.
Look, these people down there, do you see them? They will hate you if you play Wonderwall. Stop it.
But it's the only one I know.
If you go to 2 o'clock and then kind of go inwards, can you see the sort of skeleton face? Well, not a skeleton face, almost like a face.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Interesting. So good. What comes after this? Pro Memoria. Oh, we gotta talk about Pro Memoria. We got Pro PP.
Yeah.
Pro PP.
And Deb picking on some nipples.
Copia's buff.
Copia's totally that buff. Definitely 100%.
Why he got a knife? I'm scared why he got a knife.
He's also holding an apple, I think, as well.
So this is the whole Garden of Eden thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
He's gonna cut up the apple. He's gonna
Is
share
that
it
an
with
upside down
you.
turtle?
It is.
Yes.
They're standing on top of the turtle.
This is getting all very Terry Pratchett. Got death again.
Yeah, and then also again you have the flat Earth because that kind of looks like the map, the way and the monsters on the here be monsters.
The ocean on the bottom.
Kind of got the Kraken going on.
Yeah.
Is that Nessie on the right hand side?
Yep, she's making an appearance.
Hey, Queen.
Love you, Queen. And then there's that devil again from Meliora that had the martini glass. He's sitting in the back watching everything going on too. Up on the right side.
And Death, of course. Our friend Death. Don't you forget about dying.
Death's kind of got half a nipple.
Yeah.
Well, he's got full.
Decayed.
He's like, he's not fully decayed yet.
Is the apple his bollock?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's the fruit of his loins.
It's definitely in that area.
It's grim. And it's the one that shows up on the tour as well in the backdrop.
The background for the tour. And the spawn of Copia's the Antichrist theory because of his tattoo.
Yeah, because that's the tattoo from Omen, which that man has a love-hate relationship with.
Then we got Witch Image. Let me pull it up.
Which image?
Why is there a Triceratops?
Dinosaurs are cool, okay?
I like dinosaurs. Oh, the devil's got his dogs out down the bottom.
Yep. His devil dogs.
He needs to get the nails clipped.
This is the one where you can't see it on our version very well, but someone took a photo of it at the exhibition, and there's a little thing on the desk with like a picture of Cardinal Copia and then this really cool drawn crucifix. It's so blurry on our pictures, though. It's like
it's like a little picture of Copia and a little heart crucifix. I kind of want that tattooed on me.
I see it. It's very tiny, but you can kind of see it right next to the lady. Like she's over here writing love notes about Copia. Which mood?
There's also a painting beside of a woman who I recognize that, but right now again my brain is not full. But I recognize that portrait. I think that might be Bathory actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I think you might be right.
Can you see the Papa bust as well? To the left of them in the hallway.
Oh yeah, I do.
I can't tell who it is.
I think it's Nell.
Yeah. There's also dead cows outside.
Oh yeah, poor cows. What has Tobias got beef with cows?
We all have beef with cows.
There's also a hand that's putting something into a well. Is it the Well of Souls? I can't tell.
Again, if you're listening to this going, what's the point of this podcast? The point of this podcast is us to look at Zbignew's art. Ooh. And you get to listen to it. There's just so many details, but again, like the versions we have, the digitized versions aren't super clear, and so we're not getting all of the details for this. Again, there's somebody outside leading a horse as well. I would love that dinosaur. I know other than it's cool, but like
I think it's like her pet. Like its tail
pet
is
dinosaur.
it's like an alligator but with a triceratops head because like it has a really long tail and it's very low to the ground. It has like alligator feet, but like its tail is like wrapped up around her. You know, they're just like very comfortable and familiar.
So she's from Florida.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a stretch again because I can't really see, but there's a book that's near them as well, and I don't know, but the side of the thing looks like a hammer, and I'm wondering if that's supposed to be the witch hammer, like the.
Oh, I wonder.
Also, as well, there's somebody on the right side who is having a very difficult time with a goat. Outside, they're falling off a goat or something. That's like,
oh yeah, I see them. The goat is like rearing up, and they're like, ah.
I did not plan this right properly.
Talking of someone who's having not a good time, should we move on to Life Eternal, where there's these two people that are clearly dead, holding hands? Again, there's a lot going on here with like figures surrounding this. It's circular.
Circular in nature.
Cyclical.
It's like you got a circular reference in it.
This is one of the ones I feel like you could show somebody who didn't know ghosts, and they might think this was a religious art piece. You know, like, because like can't see Papa anywhere, and there's no devils, and there's no, you know, like this is probably the most unsatany one, because there's cherubs and angels, and you know,
there is a tomb of two noble people that they died, and their tombs are holding hands like this. This is a real thing.
let me see.
But I can't remember who it is now. I'm fairly certain they're English. But that's about all I can tell you off the top of my head without Googling.
Well, there's also there's medieval tombs that have people holding hands. Not exactly like that, but there's medieval tombs as well that have that kind of image of couples holding hands.
I don't know why I thought about Ramus and Nymphadora.
Yeah.
In that one wizard film.
That shall not be named, ironically.
Yeah. Should we move on to Impera? I'm gonna be raw dog in this one because I don't got notes.
I've been raw dogging everything since Infesticism, so you're okay.
Okay. This one's interesting because I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit just so I can kind of get this in there. In the Impera booklets, there's like 3 panoramic scenes that are kind of, one represents dawn. Ironically, I think they all kind of almost represent the they're not in the exact order because the one after respite fucks that up. But they're almost in placement of where the instrumentals are, almost, I say. And like I said, one is like dawn, one's kind of at noon, and then one's kind of leading to sundown. And as Alana said to me earlier off mic.
Yeah.
It's like the city becoming industrialized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's also like I don't actually think it's dawn, afternoon, and dusk. I think it's the same time of day, but because of the industrialization, the sunlight is being blocked by the smog and the smoke of the city.
You mean literally where I live, aka the Black Country?
Yeah.
He recognizes us. Oh my god.
Oh my god. He knows I exist.
He knows I exist. No, but for anyone not knowing what the Black Country is, it's like, where have you been? Because I bring it up. I bring it up every fucking week. The Black Country is an area in the West Midlands, just outside of Birmingham. It's very industrialized, and it gets the name the Black Country because you literally couldn't see the sky because it was just black.
Yeah, and all of Impera is about industrialization. So
all of Impera is basically about me
and
my life and my day-to-day life in the mines.
Yeah,
just saying.
Child
that reminds me of an
Let's get into the Kaiserian one because I know you're gonna.
I love this one.
Kaiserian.
Yeah, it's the destruction of her library of Hepatia, as they say in the thing, or Hephaesia. But yeah, it's the destruction of her library by Christian cultists. Because you can see her on the left side.
Noticing about this type of artwork, just before diving, is It seems like almost I don't want to say inverted, but there's a lot of elements where it looks like it was blacked out and then scratched away to create the white lines,
Yeah, I
rather
see
than
what you mean.
drawing the lines, which is
I
quite cool.
Oh yeah,
kind of like
that is
rubbed
very
out.
cool. I like that.
Mm,
Might have been a bit easier for him to do the details that way.
mm. There's some lines where it's like you can see it's sort of like using a ruler and using straight lines, but others it looks like yeah, it looks like that. I just want to give a shout out to the guy on the top in the chandelier with his dick out. His pants
Yeah.
aren't even all the way down, but it's just he's swinging on the chandelier and he's swinging his dick.
I'm gonna swing on the chandelier.
He is a Seer fan, so
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
true.
But yeah, like there was a time like when Christianity wasn't like the dominating kind of religion it is now. That it was a cult at one point, you know.
Mm.
And unsurprisingly, they were very violent. And God forbid you have a woman that has a thought in her head. Because Hypatia was a pagan; she wasn't Christian or anything like that. But it makes me sad because I've always had this kind of fascination with what happened to her since I was a kid, since I first found out about her, and just to have like my favorite band have an art piece about it, it's such a nice piece of coincidence.
God, there's so many lines where all the books are. It's
Yeah.
insane. So well done.
I wonder if it gets eye strained.
I get eye strain looking at it, and I mean that in a positive way.
Yeah.
There's so many wonderful, beautiful things to look at.
Mm. Speaking of, spillways it's very abstract, but you can kind of tell it's a dam.
Also a
Mhm.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, like a dam person, a damsel, if you will.
Damsel.
Ay.
But it's
Yeah.
obviously like, you know, spillways is supposed to be about, you know, the spillways inside yourself, so it makes sense that it's also shaped like a dam. God damn.
Yeah. God damn.
Look at all those lines.
There's a lot of lines. It's a dam that's shaped like
Yeah.
a woman.
Yeah.
Not a lot to go off of that.
Yeah, like
Again, if you know the meaning of the song.
The
It helps.
person who has the things that are going to come over the spillways. Literally, there she is.
Moving on, I've just gone on to Call Me Little Sunshine, and there's just this little jar in one bit that's got like almost like palm trees inside it that I'm like, huh. But yeah, obviously this is more like
This is opium.
opium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Devil's got this guy by the feet.
Because I remember him saying about Call Me Little Sunshine, like the devil in this version of the song is not supposed to be a comfort in a way. It's supposed to be more of like a negative, you know, kind of blanking out your brain with drugs and stuff like that, you know, kind of hiding in drugs.
Like temptation kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more just a kind of like, you know, like if you have problems and you hide inside drugs to kind of blank it out, you know, and that's where this version of the devil lies, you know, kind of tempting you to do, you know, to do more drugs, to hide more inside the
something that you know you should walk away from, or you know, not continue, but you can't because it's so tempting.
I also like to point out the little weed plants on the right hand side down the bottom of the building.
Marijuana.
We
Marijuana.
got poppy flowers. We got Mary Jane.
Yep.
We got everything.
Opium, cocaine.
Come on down to Satan's Drug Emporium.
You know, you can if you eat a poppy seed bagel, you can actually test positive for drugs in a
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
which I think is hilarious.
Ironically, that happened to my parents' pastor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because he worked at a hospital like outside of pastor hours. And he had
pastor.
Well, yeah, because it was a small church, so we couldn't actually afford to pay him, so he had to have a job.
Oh.
So he worked at a hospital as like a technician, like a technology repair guy, basically. And so as part of that, they are required to have drug tests, and he had not a bagel, but a Whopper because they have sesame seeds on the buns.
Oh.
And he tested positive for opiates. And he was like, "No, I am a man of God. How dare you?" Which clearly means nothing. But
Well.
yeah, it was because he ate sesame seeds because it's the
Wow.
same family
Oh.
of plants.
A woman also managed to sue her work because she failed a drug test because she'd had a poppy seed bagel and she failed the drug test and they wouldn't believe her and they fired her, and so she managed to sue them and money because of that.
Nice.
Haha! Get wrongful termination lawsuited.
Bitch.
I'm just looking at the Hunter's Moon one. This makes no sense to the fucking film, but I would like to say, see where the skull head is?
Yeah.
See how it's got a
Yes.
crossbones behind it?
Yes.
Pirates.
Pirates.
This is why I was telling you that it's okay to pirate movies.
he likes the sea. He says he likes nautical piratism.
Sam. I
Same.
love pirates. I love pirates and cowboys, and I think I like pirates because they're cowboys.
Yeah, they're ocean cowboys.
You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of cowboys and ocean cowboys.
But yeah, in terms of
The next pop was a pirate. He's got
Oh
an
my
eye
God.
patch and everything, and he just falls off. He
It's
doesn't
really
wear the
interesting.
contact anymore.
It's really interesting to me how like the top half of this churchyard is upside down.
Yeah. My head hurts.
Like a tree growing into an upside down church.
Who's the guy in the on the sort of balcony?
I don't
Mitre thing.
know, but he's like looking up and like covering his eyes. That guy or a different guy?
Oh,
There's a
well,
guy at the
On
top
top
that's
of the
like,
skull.
who looks like he's
yeah.
grabbing his wiener.
Probably
He's
is.
like, yeah, this shit's great. Ah.
It's just jerking one off, looking down at all this cool shit that's below. I'm like, oh my god, I get to live here forever.
Oh,
But yeah, it
Most
has
of-
nothing really to do with the song. Also, there's a couple of gravestones to the left side at the top with crucifixes on them. I wonder if they're like the Papa
Mhm.
graves.
I don't have a lot to say of this one. The next one, what for Watching Sky, is a little bit more on the nose. I like I said, I think there's more elements of like scratched out stuff
Yeah.
because the
Mhm.
background on this is stunning. Papa is not. He has a telescope.
Yeah, it's an eye as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like a pupil and
Yeah,
iris.
It's a dissected eye.
Your eyeball.
Hello.
Your
And
cornea.
just looking at the city below, which is the same sort of landscape as the
Yeah,
panorama ones I was saying about.
Yeah.
it's it's the church using all of the money to make this giant observatory to look up for God.
Mm.
You know, like
Yeah, because you kind of got that hand that's like the creator hand
yeah.
in the corner.
And it's also again he has the kind of square.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
it looks like as well he's holding a square, like a very simple version of a square.
Let's go on to. I'm going to skip ahead to because, like I said, the one that's sort of in place where Dominion would be is, like I say, it's that kind of midpoint of the industrialization where you see
Yeah.
farmers. But I want to move on to 20s because I feel like we're going to be here a while with this one.
Oh God.
In the 20s. 20s.
So we've got like some sort of ritual when there's like drums.
Yeah.
Ironically, skeleton dancers, which panned out in real life in LA. But obviously, you've got the world's most hated man currently to most
Yeah.
people, Mr.
Very
Donald J. Trump.
deservedly.
It's almost as well kind of more like more primal. Like that's a kind of and the idea of him being this like primal leader of these people and kind of like, you know, gruntingly banging his chest, like, ooh, hear all these people, ooh, you know, kind of thing, you know.
Like they are very outside of like everything else that's going on. Like the rest of the world is like progressing, going forward.
Yep.
You know, like even like in the lore of the story, like becoming more industrial, going forward with things. But like here are these people They're out in the woods, banging
Refusing
a
progress.
drum. Yeah.
I've just noticed if you look at the very bottom by one of the girls' arms on the right, like our right, there's a little gas mask head.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, there sure is.
That's cool. Oh, the spiders have crucifix on. That's cool.
Yeah, everything is wearing a crucifix in this one as
Mm.
well. And it's very swamp-like as well. Like the kind of the trees and
Yes.
stuff are a bit more like. So if you ever
Yeah.
wondered what Tobias's opinion of Trump and his followers is, I think it's gives you a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just sad they made me look at his penis. Trump's, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really gross.
Little shriveled thing.
And he's fat and disgusting, and it's swinging around skulls on sticks.
Like
Gross.
baby rattles.
Yeah. Like if you look at this and think to yourself, I wonder if he likes Trump, and then you lean to yes, you're an idiot.
Yeah, or he's neutral or doesn't care about Trump and or people being Trump followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are dumb and not smart. I'm sorry.
That also leads on to one that is there's one in between, but a later piece. So we'll get on to the one in between first. There's the darkness at the heart of my love. There's like this. It's weird because it's like almost looks like a rib cage, but it's got ovaries. But the ovaries are actual full-grown fetuses that are like dropping out of this tree almost.
Yeah.
And there's a woman catching one of them.
This is where, because you also have like Venus flytraps as well, like giant Venus flytraps all
And
around
money.
as well, and money. And because I remember him again, I can't remember what interview this is, but I distinctly remember him saying about how when you love people, like really love people, they can make you think of doing quite horrible things. Like you love your kids, you'd kill for your kids. You know.
There's almost a face as well, like where at the base of like almost like what looks like a sternum, that looks like a nose, and then if you look at the gaps just before, there's like eyelashes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it makes me think of this whole mother figure of like what you're saying with
Yeah.
killing for your kids.
Yeah. Like they're literally like, your children are literally part of like you grew them.
Because it does almost look like a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like maybe the Venus flytraps are like how the babies get fed on the tree. Like that's where the nutrients come from. So it's like trying to lure people in with money and things to
Yeah.
feed the babies.
Yeah, weird one, but I like it.
Yeah.
Should we go on to the Mike Pence one?
Yeah.
So this is for Griffwood. So tying in with the 20s artwork, we got Mike Pence. This caused a lot of controversy, I think, with
God.
people without media literacy.
Yeah.
Because there's a little cherub that looks like he's sucking him off.
It's one of those things where it's like I'd like to point out the cherubs aren't meant to be actually children.
But also, I don't think he's sucking him up. I think he's just facing that direction. He's just like covering his junk. Like,
Also, as well, they're not really cherubs. They have fly wings.
yeah.
So they're not really cherubs. They're a kind of like a perversion of a cherub, which is again what he talks about in the song is like Christian, fundamentalists or conservatives are like trying to preach Christianity to people, but it's wrong. Like the message is preaching. So like all the like Christian images, that are around, there's something wrong with them in these pictures, like cherubs, but they've got fly wings. Like
I've just noticed as well. There's a schlong right at the very bottom, but also on the sides, the bricks kind of look like balls and dicks.
They do. I was about to say that. It looks like dicks. And like all of the there's like little popes with
Shitting.
They're bowing down to Pence and all their asses are out. Looks like they're shitting themselves.
also as well, there's like a crown of like like a crown of thorns because like roses, but the roses aren't dead.
There is a little devil horn on Pence if you look underneath his halo.
Yes. Like he's representing himself as like, oh look, I am this Christ-like figure. I am like Christ, but if you actually look closer, no,
I'm
it's
an
all a
evil
lie.
bastard.
Then we got the final one for Respite on the Spitalfields, which is, it looks just like Whitechapel, like sort of
Yeah.
Victorian London. And you've
Yeah.
got a figure with a knife that's kind of in the shadows. I'll be the shadow.
You'll be the light. Also, interestingly, so in Dominion, there's a carriage and it's on the left-hand side going in toward the city, and now on Respite, there's a carriage, but now it's on the right side coming out of the city.
We're leaving the city.
So this is farewell.
Also, as well, like if you look at the image of Jack the Ripper in the pond, like in the water, like he's not actually there, and like the whole point of this song is supposed to be like the aftermath of Jack. You know,
Yeah, like the
like
fear that lingered, that
yeah,
it could be happening again, and no one would know. Like there's no way to expect what's gonna happen.
And now we're all caught up. By the time this episode comes out, we'll probably have answers to what the fuck is next. But
yeah. What the fuck is happening on this live stream that we've been monitoring while doing this podcast? The power of us
Zbigniew
and
art.
women, we can multitask.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for listening. I'm gonna go and watch a billboard in Vegas for the next however many hours.
65,000 hours.
I may not be alive by the time this podcast airs, so it's been nice knowing you all.
I am all ears. The Ghost Fan Cast.